Hello everyone, and welcome to the free and live Learn the Basics of WordPress webinar hosted by CloudAccess.net. We offer a comprehensive web hosting and support platform for the Joomla and WordPress content management systems. Now, during today's webinar, I want to show you how to launch a free WordPress demo trial site and how to access that website using the Cloud Control Panel. I'll also show you how to select a theme for your WordPress site, and we'll talk about creating content and organizing content, including categories, posts, and pages. We'll talk a little bit about text formatting and inserting media, and we'll end today's presentation by talking about widgets and also installing WordPress plugins. I do want to tell you just a little bit more about our platform at CloudAccess.net in just a moment, but I want to introduce myself. My name is Ryan Bernstein. I'm going to be your host and presenter for this webinar. I want you to feel free to find that GoToMeeting slide out question area and post a question to me about either our CloudAccess.net platform or your WordPress application. And you can also tweet at me during today's presentation at CloudAccess, and I can answer your questions there as well. A lot of times I'll pull the question directly into the webinar if it's timely and relative to what I'm discussing at the moment. And if it isn't, I'll save it for the end of the webinar. All right. So thank you for attending. And just a little bit more about us before we begin. We do offer, again, that comprehensive web hosting and support platform, and we're on the phone. You can call us. Pick up the phone and call us and ask us a question. And it doesn't have to be about hosting. It can be about Joomla or WordPress. Those core Joomla and WordPress features we support. And if you have any question about them, how the CMS works, you can submit a ticket online or call us directly to get help. Now, we do provide a managed backup service with any paid hosting account. And what that means is if you upgrade to a paid hosting package, we back up your website for you. And we've got a copy of the site. We keep copies for 14 days, and we can restore the site for you if you break it. Now, that happens all the time, but we also give you the tools to create your own application snapshot through the Cloud Control Panel. We'll show off that towards the end of today's webinar, show you just a little bit about our Cloud Control Panel. Now, if you need a custom domain name, that's not a problem at all. You can always purchase one through our platform. If you already own a domain name, you can either transfer that domain name to our service or point the domain name to your site hosted with us. Now, I do want to let you know I am recording this webinar, and I am going to move quickly through the content, but you can always come back and watch a recording later at our YouTube channel at youtube.com/CloudAccess. I'll show off our YouTube channel towards the end of today's presentation as well. But for now, I want to go ahead and get started. So I'm going to exit this presentation, and I want to go to CloudAccess.net. Now, if you haven't registered for a site with us yet, you should do so. Click on the Register button, fill out the registration form, and you'll be able to launch free and unlimited demo trials of Joomla and WordPress. And I want to let you know that WordPress, you see at the top here, this little module we created, WordPress is a new product offering on our platform. And we've done a lot of work getting that product ready and learning about WordPress and how to use it. But I'll be the first to admit that I don't know 100% of the application. I don't know all of its ins and outs just yet. So if you have a question that I might not be able to answer, hopefully I'll be able to at least point you in the right direction. And the goal of today's presentation is to just give you that high-level overview of the features. We will create a website, and it will be functional, but we may not be able to answer every single question. We hope so, though. I'm going to go ahead and log in to my Cloud Control Panel, and once you register and create that account with us, this is really the heart of our platform. This is the place that you'll visit to manage all of your applications that you have with us. So this is called the Cloud Control Panel, or the CCP. You can do a number of things here. We'll do a few things to kind of illustrate how to get started. To launch a site, you'll click on the New Product button here. If you want to view or create a new ticket, you'll click on the New Ticket button here, and you'll select your department where you'd like that ticket to go to, and our team will respond to you very quickly. You can view any invoices that you have due with us, or past invoices as well, and any domain name that you have registered with us. If you scroll down here off to the left side of the side menu, always get back to your CCP homepage here. Again, shop new products. Same stuff you're doing up above, really. Support, billing. You can open up your account, change account details, add contacts and things like that. And in the center area here under your products, you can see all the free demos that you've launched. You see these are all demo sites that I've launched. You can see which version of the CMS you're using. This is a Joomla 3.2 site. This is a Joomla 2.5 site. Scrolling down, you see we have some WordPress 3.8 sites as well. I believe we're going to be launching a WordPress 3.9 site today. I can upgrade to a paid hosting package to get even more support through my Cloud Control Panel, or click on the Manage button for the site. If I click on this Manage button for I Love Joomla 2.5, this is the Cloud Control Panel features for this individual product. I can do a lot here. I can log into the back end of the site, upgrade the product, take that app snapshot, that backup of the site, access the FTP, SFTP, SSH login credentials, or get direct access to the database. I can view server information or application information. We do have a web application firewall that will lock your site down, your database tables and your site files down at the server level, leaving it 100% hack-proof. We do have error and access logs that you can enable for your site. Change domain names, cancel the site, or transfer it to a different CloudAccess.net account holder. This is all great, and I do want to show you at least the app snapshot towards the end of today's webinar. But first, we want to launch that new product. So we're going to launch a new website now. Click on the New Product button, and the next choice is to select Free Demo Hosting. We want a free demo trial of WordPress today. So we'll click on the WordPress demo. And the next step is to select a domain name. Now, by default, the fourth option is selected here for you. I want to use a free subdomain. That subdomain is .cloudaccess.net. You do have a few choices here, but we want to create a new domain. The most important part of this process is, of course, creating the beginning part of this. So I'm going to type in Guitar Central. We are going to make a website today for a Guitar Center. And so it's called Guitar Central. I've done a little bit of work creating sort of an organizational structure for our site, for some categories and posts and pages that I'd like to create. I've also done some work gathering some imagery for the site and resizing some images to fit WordPress. And if you want to know the tools I use to resize images, of course I don't use WordPress. It's not an image editing software, so I'd be happy to tell you what types of software I use. Please feel free to ask a question. Let's go ahead and click on Next Step, though. See if that domain is available. It looks as though it is. We're going to go ahead with the WordPress version 3.9. This is the most recent version available. We'll click on Next Step. And right now, I believe we're checking to see if our domain is available. It looks as though it is, guitarcentral.cloudaccess.net. You double check your subdomain here, and if everything looks correct, you click on the Checkout button. Remember, this is our free offer. No payment method is needed, so you don't need to enter credit card or PayPal information. You can leave a note for our team if you like to when launching the site. Go ahead and complete the order, though. And what will happen right now is the Cloud Access, right now, we're reaching into our special repository and we're grabbing the WordPress 3.9 package for you. And we're launching the site. And the WordPress site is going to come with just a little bit of sample data, and it's going to come with some themes for us to select. And that's the first thing we'll discuss after we access the site. We're going to receive a confirmation number here. Here it is. And we're also going to receive a welcome email. So it does see, get your confirmation email shortly. I'm going to check my email here on a separate monitor, and I've already gotten my welcome email. It really is a very quick process. So in my welcome email, there's links to access the site. Okay, so I'm going to open those up in a separate monitor. I'm just going to pull it over. So this is guitarcentral.cloudaccess.net. You see my domain here, Guitar Central, and I do want to show off, I'm going to close this actually. Back in my CCP, if I go to the CCP home, what I can do is the product is right here. Brand new, just installed. I have 31 days left. I can upgrade, of course. I can access those quick links here to my CCP for this individual instance or application, but I can click on the Manage button as well. So what I want to do right off the bat is just go here and show you that you can click on the Login to WordPress button right here, and that's going to take you to the back end or your dashboard. Okay, so this is the WordPress dashboard. This is the back end of the site. Also through the Cloud Control Panel, you can click on the link here, and that will take you to the front end of the site. Okay, in the that is a one-click link to the back end of your site, so you're logged in and you're ready to edit. So the dashboard, this is the place where you edit and create and manage all of your content for your WordPress application. Now we're going to go through quite a few of these features today, but just to kind of point out just a little bit about the WordPress dashboard, there are three basic areas here. One of them, the first area is the dashboard, which basically gets you back to your main dashboard view, and it also notifies you about any updates that are available. Now, of course, we just launched 3.9, which is the most recent version, so no updates available. And if ever you want to get back to this main dashboard view, you click on the dashboard home, and we'll take you back here. The next part of the dashboard into the toolbar off to the left side is your content management features. These are things like your posts, your media, your pages, and your comments. Okay, again, we'll go through these features today. Then you also have application management features. These things manage your appearance, your plugins, users for your site, tools, and like global settings for the sites as well. Okay, now again, once you change your content in here, you'll be able to save things as a draft in most occasions. You can also preview your changes before you publish, and then of course you can publish and make those changes live. And once you publish, those changes will appear on the front end of your site. So looking at the front end, you see that we have some sample data here. First off, we're looking at a theme. The theme is what integrates elements like posts and pages and your widgets here that are off into this the sidebar. It integrates header images that we'll talk about today, and featured images with your articles and things like that. Every theme is different. I'm going to show you where to browse and find new themes in just a moment. I do want to show you that you see this little bar up here. This indicates that I'm logged in to my WordPress site. If I click on log out, I can log out, and I'm redirected to this login page. I just wanted to illustrate that in your welcome email, you do receive a username and password. Okay, so let me just close out. We're logged out of our site completely. If I'm at the front end of the site and I want to log into the back end of the site, what I can do is at the end of that domain name, I can type in /wp-admin, and that's going to take me to the back end of the site. So again, that's /wp-admin. And that takes me again to the secure login area. So if I check my welcome email here on a separate monitor, I can copy my username and paste that in, and I can copy my password and paste that in here. I can ask WordPress to remember me, and then I can log in manually. All right, so again, we're in the dashboard and we want to start talking about themes, but really quickly before we do, when we first access our site, we get this notification here letting us know that we have just launched the site. We can get started. We can learn about customization, creating blog posts, adding pages, widgets and menus, all sorts of cool stuff, and by all means feel free to keep this information around, but I'm going to talk about a lot of this today. And the dashboard, it's a pretty busy area. You've got your at-a-glance module here and your activity module. You're getting a lot of information here anyway, and so I encourage you to dismiss this or explore it, but I'm going to dismiss it, and we're going to just simplify things just a little bit in the dashboard. So the first thing, of course, I want to talk about is your themes. Let's go back to our Cloud Control Panel and let's log back into the back end. What I like to do is when I develop, I keep the front end open in one tab. Oops, let's view. Okay, so if you're in the back end, you want to view the front end, you can click on the site title here. And right now our site title is your WordPress site hosted with CloudAccess.net. We're going to change this site title in just a moment, but that is the site title. You can click on that. And so when I'm working on a site, I keep one tab open here with the front end, and then I keep the back end open. And so I can toggle back and forth between the two views to see my changes. And so now, finally, let's talk about themes. A theme in WordPress controls the layout, right? It controls what we're the look and feel of the site, and it ties together elements again like posts and pages and imagery that we have in the site, and every theme is unique. And if you want to access themes independently for your WordPress site, go to WordPress.org. WordPress.org is the nonprofit site for WordPress where you can browse the showcase. You can see different WordPress sites and go to themes, plugins. We'll come back later and kind of explore a little bit, but if you go to the theme site, you'll see all sorts of themes that are available. There are over 2,500 themes available for you to download and install into your site. Some of these, like 2014, these come default. They come with our site. Okay, so let me kind of illustrate. In the backend, in the dashboard, to select a theme, we'll go to Appearance and we'll go to Themes. Your application, your WordPress application, comes with 3 themes. We have 2014, we have 2013, and 2012. Now 2014 was created for a magazine-style site where you have all sorts of featured articles here that you can see, and the sidebar with some featured videos, which is pretty darn cool. You can see the layout. Now this is already our activated theme, and we can tell because it's selected here in the first position. Now 2013, this theme was developed for blogs. Really, when it was first created, WordPress was a blogging platform, and so 2013 is kind of getting back to its roots, and it helps display blogs specifically. 2012 is more for a kind of a generic brochure-style website for a small business or something like that, and it's a really useful theme. We are going to stick with this 2014 theme for today, but let's activate a new theme. Let's activate 2013. So we activated 2013. It becomes in this first position here. We'll talk about customizing the theme in a little bit, but let's return to the front end and refresh. Oops. We've activated a new theme, so we get a new look and feel for our site. And what's happening here is we're getting our posts are here. Now we have one post in the site already. This is Hello World. And we'll talk about posts and pages and the difference between the two in just a moment. But our side menu items, they now become footer menus, or I'm sorry, these are widgets. And so in different themes, you have different widget ready areas, they're called. And so in the 2013 theme, the widget ready area is in the footer. Okay, but as you saw in the 2014 theme, the widget ready area is off to the left side, and actually in the 2012 theme, the widget ready area is off to the right side. So it really is down to your preference, and it can be difficult to change those widget ready areas. So picking a theme is really important, and for our purposes, we are going to go back and reactivate that 2014 theme, make this our default theme, and oops, keep going to the wrong page. Let's refresh the front end. Now we're back to our 2014 theme. Let's go ahead. Let's talk about changing some things here with our theme. First, I want to change the site title. It's your WordPress site hosted with CloudAccess.net. We want to get rid of that. We can customize a theme by clicking on the Customize button here, or under Appearance, we can come to Customize right here. It's going to take us to the same area regardless, and here we have our 2014 theme. And what's really cool about this is we can expand some details for the theme, but what's really cool is in the main dashboard area, we can preview what we're working on. And as we work today, you'll see if we go back and expand our posts will appear here, and you can preview you can preview your changes before you publish them. So the first option we want to go to here is site title and tagline. I want to change my site title from your WordPress site hosted with CloudAccess.net. Let's change this to Guitar Central. And you'll notice that in real time, the preview kept up with us. So here we have Guitar Central. Let's change our tagline, your one-stop guitar shop. And I'll put an exclamation point there. And then we have display site title and tagline. You can actually turn them off completely. Let's select that and notice how they disappeared completely. I'll leave them on for now. And we also want to select a color. So let's select a color for our site. You'll use this color palette here to select your color, and you can paste in that hexadecimal color code if you know it for a color that you'd like. You get your site title color, which will change our site title here. Let's just kind of change that to red. I actually don't want to save those changes. I want that to go back to white, so I'm going to select white. And we'll leave that there for now. You also have the background color, where you can select a new color for your background as well. That will change, you'll see, off to the right side of the template or the theme. Again, I'm just going to leave that to black for now. We'll come back. I think we'll change some things a little bit later, customize our theme just a little bit more. Now the header image is really cool too. You can really customize your theme by selecting a header image. Now if we look at the front end, a lot of times different themes will have like a header image that's really just ready for a logo, but as you'll see with our theme, our header image actually spans the entire horizontal area for 2014. So let's select a header image here. I'm going to go ahead and add a new image. And this is going to take me to my media library. You can access your media library independently through the dashboard, and you see here a suggested image dimension for our header image. That's what I've already edited the dimensions of my image as being this size. I believe it's this size, or really close to this size anyway. So I've already done my editing, and so I can click on the Upload Files tab. Right now I don't have any image files in my WordPress site at all. But let's go to Upload Files, and I can select a file from my computer, and here is my WordPress header right here that I created. And actually, I'm going to go back to Upload Files. I'm going to select another image. It's actually this one. This is the one I want, the WP header. I adjusted my image dimensions just a little bit. So now I have this one. I can actually select this one and insert this into my site if I'd like to, but I'm going to click Delete permanently. I don't want to get confused. I've got two very similar images here. I'm going to delete this permanently from my site and select OK. So now if I'd like to select this image, I'd click it here, and this check mark means it's ready to insert. I get the attachment details, and creating an image title can be really important. Whenever you have an image in your site, whether it's embedded in a post or a page, something we'll talk about in just a moment, creating a title and a caption, an alternative text or description, these can be really helpful, not only for locating the image in the future in WordPress, but you can also select, to display captions, and users can actually find you. Search engines will start to index the alternative text and descriptions or titles for images. So that's really kind of important. You can also click on this Edit Image button, which will allow you to, flip images and invert or flip horizontally. I'm going to go ahead and just cancel that. You can now see the WordPress header image that we selected, and let's go ahead and click on the Update button here, and so we should be up to date. That was our WordPress header. Notice through that process we were redirected to our Media Manager. Let's go back to Appearance and Customize, get back to our theme there, and we'll go back to Header Image. So no image was actually set. So again, to select that image, let's add a new image. Here's that image we had. Let's select it and select and crop. And it does look like my dimensions were just a little bit off, so what I can do is just select this, and I kind of like it right about here. And that's pretty good right there. And I'm not a graphic artist. I did create this image, but It'll be good enough for our purposes today. Let's go ahead and click on Crop Image. And then we have our, oh, it looks like we did actually select that before, but that's okay. We get our preview here. Let's select Save and Publish. So we've saved our header image. Let's return to the front end, refresh our page, and we can see our header image appear. So I included the logo inside the header image. You could just have one static logo and put that over off to the left side. It looks like I didn't change my site title though. We left our navigation area, or we left our customized area before I had a chance to save those. So let's exit here, and what we'll do is we'll go back to site title and tagline again, and let's save and publish this. Say, okay, I had a couple areas open there. Let's refresh. And so now I get the Guitar Central title, your one-stop guitar shop. So that's all very good. Now, also, let's just return and see if there's anything else worthwhile discussing. Well, there really is. There really is. And it's this next option here, and it's the static front page. And what this is as I mentioned earlier, WordPress was originally developed to be a blogging platform. And blogs come in the way of posts. They come in the form of posts. And then you can also select to have your page display, your front page display to be a static page. So if you would like a continually updated stream of content to be posted on the when people first land on your site, you'll select your latest posts. So if you want it to be a blog, select your latest posts. If you want it to be just one static page, you'll select a static page here. Okay, let's leave this set to our latest posts right now, and then we'll create a few posts, and then we'll come back later and we'll actually create one static home page for our site. Okay, now you can see here also that we have certain widget-ready areas or widgets in our primary sidebar. You can remove these widgets, and again, it's something we'll talk about just a little bit later. I think it's best to just close this for now and come back when the time's right during this webinar. So let's go back again to get back to our main dashboard home area, go to Dashboard and Home, and our next step is to start talking about content. And there's, again, as I already mentioned, there's some important things to know about when you're creating content for your site. First off, there's categories. And when we create categories, our posts are saved into categories. And when we, now pages are a little bit different. Pages aren't saved into your categories. Pages are saved in sort of a parent-child relationship, but posts are saved into categories. And so the first thing we want to do is, for our content to start getting organized, is to create categories. So let's go to Posts, and what we'll do is we'll go to Categories here. And right now we have the one uncategorized category listed, and we really only need one category to function. But we want to be a bit more specific here to create categories. So let's call this one our Guitar Central blog. So this is going to be a new category for our blog, and we'll click on Add New Category. Down below here, you could include a slug for that, which is helpful when customizing URLs, so be aware of that. You could also make this a child category, right? Or add a description. All really useful, but again, things for you to learn about as you develop on your own. Now, we created the one category, and notice here you can, when you have the category highlighted, you can click on Edit, and this is a quick edit area for the category. I want to, let's just click Update. We'll head back. You can also, that was the formal edit area, or quick edit allows you to edit quickly in this area. And you can change that slug and things. You can delete the category or view the category again on the front end. Okay, we want to get to the back end of the site, get back to posts and categories though. So the categories listed here, if you want to delete a category, you would select the category and delete it. Now notice how we can't delete this uncategorized category, and that's because this is set as our current default category. Whenever we write a new post, by default it's going to save into the uncategorized category. We want to change that default category to the Guitar Central blog. So what we're going to do is we're going to go down to Settings and Writing, and this will allow us to change that default category right here, Guitar Central blog. So that's the default category we want for our site. Let's go ahead and scroll down and save changes. And let's go back to Posts and Categories. So notice how that menu does drop down to the toolbar. But now at this point we can select the uncategorized category and throw it in the trash if we wanted to delete it. Okay, and we cannot select the Guitar Central blog. So I do suggest that you go in and change that default category. A pretty important step. Now, talking very quickly. Now you saw that I just went to Posts. We have one Hello World post in our site already that opens up here, and in our post management area, our post manager, we have different options available. So you see we have screen options here, and in the screen options we can notice here we have our author, our categories displayed, the tags for our site. Not something we're going to get into in this webinar, but you can create tags for different articles and or posts and pages. These are useful organizational tools as well, and we have comments and dates. Let's say we don't want to we're not going to use tags during this webinar, so let's go ahead and deselect tags in the screen options, and tags disappears down here from the post manager, okay, to help keep things nice and clean. Another cool feature, if we minimize that, is this help tab. So if ever we want to get some help with a feature of WordPress, we can come here and get an overview, screen content, just tips, things to help us as we create, kind of things that we're discussing in today's webinar. All right, so looking at the one Hello World post, going back to the front end of the site, that's this Hello World post here. And we are displaying our posts as we are continually updating content. So just to talk a little bit about that, when you're creating content, it is important to know the difference between posts and pages. Posts consist of blogs, news, or other types of frequently updated content. They're organized, again, by date and author, categories, and tags, as I just kind of referenced there, and they typically contain comments and social links. Okay, this is the comment you want. This is the type of content that you want your users to comment on and share and things like that. Pages, on the other hand, they're usually permanent pieces of information about the site, like a contact form or an About Us page. And pages appear in parent-child relationships, and they show up as menu items. And this is our main menu right here. We have one sample page. Let's click on the sample page. This gives us some basic content, and they've used the editor here to help sort of format this content, and we do have comments enabled on this page. I'll show you how to disable comments on specific pages in the future. So if you don't want people to comment on your pages, that's fine. You'd probably want to leave that to your posts. And over here we have the recent post widgets that we can click on to get back to Hello World. And notice how we do have our comments here as well. So in the dashboard, if you want to manage comments, what you would do is you would come down to Comments in the Content Management area, click on Comments, and then you can see the one sample comment that comes with your site. And you can manage and reply to all your comments here. But let's get back to our posts. Let's go ahead and add a new post. And remember, we're making a blog from our posts. And so we want to enter a title for our blog. Let's we're going to insert our title, announcing our new WordPress website. Okay, and we of course next want to start creating some content. And I could put some keystrokes in here, but I'm actually going to go to the internet and I'm going to search for some lorem ipsum text. That's just filler text that fills up spaces. And what I want to do is copy this text. I'm just going to copy a paragraph. But I want you to notice that there's some formatting that comes with this text, right? There's the bold title. There's a font that's associated here that's applied to the text, and also has the block formatting. The common practice is to copy and paste text from another web page or from a Microsoft Word document or some other type of word processor, Google Drive or Google Docs perhaps. The common practice is to copy and paste text directly into this article text area, but when we create text using a word processor like Microsoft Word, we apply formatting to that text, but that's not web formatting. And we want to use our editor here to apply the web formatting. So what we really want to do is click on this button below to paste as plain text. So we will talk about a few of these features within your editor to help you format your articles. First, let's click on the toggle editor button. When you first launch your site, it's going to appear with just this one bar. Okay, you can click on the toolbar toggle, and this is called the kitchen sink in WordPress. This gives you like everything in the kitchen sink, so it gives you all these additional features. Click on this little clipboard to paste as plain text. Open that up, and it'll let you know it's in plain text mode. You say OK, so I can paste that in, and it now erase any formatting, and then I can deselect that, and it will remove. I'm not in plain text mode anymore. So I have no formatting with my text, and then what I can do is use my editor to format the article, which is more important, right? It's more important to have the web formatting in there. For instance, a lot of these things you're going to be familiar with if you've used any type of word processor in the past. Bold, italicize, you can strike through text. There's bulleted lists, there's numbered lists. Really important, your alignment. What we want to do though, let's use this drop down here to create a heading out of this. A lot of people, they like to go ahead and just create a bold and italicized title, but we want to use the heading 2 setting. And that's important for a number of reasons. Of course, it's using the editor to format, but a heading 2 tag, an H2 tag in a post or a page, those are indexed by search engines. And that's just one thing you can do to help people start finding you online. Okay, so one thing too, also like the visual, right now we're looking at the visual, which means this is the way the text appears on the front end. If you click on the text tab here, this is the HTML view of the article, which is really helpful. And you don't need to know HTML to build a WordPress site, but this H2 tag, again, this is what's indexed by that search engine. And it's helpful sometimes, like if you ever want to embed a YouTube video, this is one of the ways to do that. All right, so let's go ahead, let's go back to visual, and let's kind of continue formatting here. I'm going to scroll down. I like to use my block quote. So I'm going to highlight this one sentence here and click on this to block quote. And another thing I suppose we should demonstrate is expanding to full screen mode or distraction-free writing mode. And that's clicking on this button right here. This will expand our post into a whole page. So we can see more of what we're working on and kind of work without any distractions. Okay, let's exit full screen here. We can also add media into the site, not only images, but also music or video files. We're going to talk about this more in just a little bit when we create our pages. So we'll kind of skip to media in just a moment, but for now, let's just illustrate one more feature. To indent text, we want to indent this text. We can click on this button to indent, to outdent. Click on it back, it goes back and forth, and just a number of features here. Okay, let's go ahead and let's save this as a draft. In the publish box here, we can save as draft. And so we really just saved it. And notice here we get this green message whenever we've seen this a few times already, but this indicates we've made a save successfully. But it's not published. Like if we return to the front end of our site and refresh the page, we don't get that published. If we want to preview in the back end, we can click on the preview button here, and that will allow us to preview the post, but we're in preview mode. All right, we can see our comments, previous posts there, and if we actually return to the front end of our site, though, and refresh, this is the public-facing view, and it's not published yet. It's just a preview, right? In the back end, if we want to publish, we click on the Publish button. First, though, I want to, by default, remember, we've saved it into the Guitar Central blog, but please know that you can save articles or posts and pages in multiple, or just posts in multiple categories here. Okay, you can also click on the New Category button to create a new category. Again, tags is not something we're going to talk about in this webinar, but something worthy to explore on your own. Let's go ahead and publish. Click on the Publish button. We've saved this into our post category, and now we're published. We should be able to go ahead and refresh. Maybe. Hello world. Actually, I don't think we're at our home page. Click on this little, oops, that takes us back to WordPress 3.9. That's not what we wanted. Let's click on Guitar Central. That'll take us to our home page, and now we have our site. Okay, so we do have the linkable title here. If you click on this, it will open up into a new page on its own. But yeah, so that's our first post. Here's our old Hello World post. Let's get that one out of there. Let's show you how to delete a post. Again, we're in our Cloud Control panel now, so let's click on the Log into WordPress. I'm going to close some of these that I don't need. We'll go back to posts. We don't want our Hello World, our sample data anymore, so let's go ahead and select and trash it. We've removed that from our site, and now, returning to the front end, we should be able to refresh, and Hello World will disappear, which it does. It's now gone. Let's create another post, just for the sake of repeating the process. Let's title this one Meet Our Featured Guitarist. And we're going to paste in this plain text again. We're in plain text mode. Insert, and then you can deselect that. Create a heading 2 right here, heading 2. I'm going to create another block quote right here. Block quote. I'm also going to insert an image. And let's just embed an image first. We'll show you how to embed an image. We'll talk about image galleries too, and also featured images as well. But let's just embed an image in a post. We can click on the Add Media button here. And again, here's the 2 images in our site. I thought we deleted one of those, but let's go to Upload Files. Let's select a file from our computer that we want to embed here, and I'm going to select this image and open. And so now we get our featured guitarist. Again, creating a title and a caption, this is all really useful information. What's really useful, though, is coming down here to the alignment. And I'm going to wrap the text around. So let's do right alignment, and our text should appear on the left side of our image. And notice here how we get a thumbnail too. The full-size image, again, I already resized my image, so it's the same size. It's actually 150 by 200, my original image, but I could select the thumbnail, and then it changes the dimensions just slightly. I do want my full-size image in there, so let's go ahead and insert that into our post, and we get our image. The text wraps around the left side, which is really useful. Now, I could select the image again if I wanted to edit it, and select it, and I could change the caption, the alternative text. I could change that alignment as well, the different image here, and some advanced options as well, which could be helpful if I wanted to apply an image CSS class or a link CSS class, which are kind of advanced features, but helpful nonetheless, things to learn about as you develop. So there we go, we have our image in there. Let's go ahead and just publish this draft. So we're now published. We should be able to return to the front end and refresh. And so we have our Meet Our Featured Guitarist. And we have the image off to the right side, and that's how to embed an image. Please notice too how we have here our recent posts widget, and both of these recent posts are in this widget. Something we'll talk about in just a little bit. Widgets. It's coming up. Not too much longer. So what we've done so far is we've created these posts, and I believe if we click on one of them, we can expand and we can get the comments for the post. And I want to leave the comments on for my post, but I don't really like this structure for my website. I don't want my blog to be my landing page. I want one static landing page for my site. So what I want to do is I want to change that theme setting to be a static landing page and not my posts as my home page. So we first want to create a menu item for our post page. So here we have our sample page. I suppose we should come in here and show you how to edit this sample page and change the title of that and then add a second page. That's probably logically the best thing to do. Let's get into pages just a little bit. In the back end, we'll go to pages right here. And we can view that we have the one sample page in the site. Now, what we can do is we can select it and throw it in the trash if we wanted to delete that one page, or create a new page. Let's go ahead and let's just click on the Add New button. And when we add a new page, let's title this one, this will be our new home page. Welcome to Guitar Central. Okay, let's paste in some text as plain text, just as before. We'll create a heading here. This is useful for repetition. You know, our users like that repetition. They see the process repeated over and over again. Let's go ahead and insert an image. Put our cursor in, add media. Go to our media library. We're going to upload a new file. Select a file from our computer. I like this black and white image right here. Select that. Let's do left alignment on this image. We'll go ahead and insert into the page. And I don't know, for some reason I just like that block quote. I should actually, let's delete that. Let's create our block quote first, and then we'll insert that image again. So we just deleted that image and put our cursor back there, add media, select, left alignment, and let's use our thumbnail for this one, make it a little bit smaller, and update. There we go. So we get our thumbnail in there, wrapped around. Let's go ahead and publish. And so when you create that new page, we return to the front end of the site. Let's refresh. We get our Welcome to Guitar Central page here. And we get our thumbnail. It's kind of cut off. I should actually use my full image. But this is now a new page in our site. And by default, those are added to our main menu. In the back end, I'm going to go ahead and select this image again and edit. I'm not going to use my thumbnail. I want to use the whole image. There we go. And update. That's going to look a little bit better. And that's update. I really don't use the preview changes feature much, but you know, you'd want to use those preview changes if you don't want to see the changes live on the front end right away. That's one of the cool parts about WordPress is you get that preview. But it did kind of wrap it in a little bit more nicely, right? When we had it in that thumbnail view, that was kind of nice. Kind of illustrate that again. Come back and edit the image. Select thumbnail and update. Let's go ahead and let's preview changes now. Preview the post. It is wrapped in there a little bit more nicely. It's kind of nicer than what it looked like before. So I'm actually going to publish that change. Let's update. All right. Oh, this is preview mode. Let's go back and just look at the front end. And so we have our two pages in here. We have our Welcome to Guitar Central and our sample page. We're going to want to get rid of that sample page. Let's talk about menus and constructing menus in WordPress for just a minute. In the back end of the site, we've added our new page. Let's go down to Appearance and Menus. Now, when you first launch that site, your menus are automatically just added to that main menu, but you actually don't have a menu actually created. So if you want to create a custom menu, you'll want to come again down to Appearance and Menus to create that customized menu. We don't have one created, so we want to create one. We want to call this our main menu. And let's go ahead and create the menu item here. So we've created our menu, but we don't have any menu items. What we can do is on our pages, select the two most recent pages we created, and we can add those to our menu. And also, when we have our menu settings at the top here, we have the top primary menu and the secondary menu to the left sidebar. Again, these are specific for the theme we're using. If you remember when we changed to that 2013 template, our menus appeared in the footer. We don't have a footer menu option in this theme. Okay, so we could put this menu off to the left side or keep it in the main menu, and I'm going to keep it in the main menu. So we'll select top primary there. And I want to remove this one. I want to remove that sample page. I'm going to delete that from my site altogether in just a moment. So let's go ahead and save this menu now. And now, since we selected top primary, we should be able to return to the front end and refresh the page and see that we only have that one Welcome to Guitar Central item in our main menu. And then what we can do is we can go back to our posts and delete that sample page post. Or I'm sorry, it's a page. We'll delete that sample page. Let me just explain here that you can create links. You can create external URL links for the menu item, and you also can display category links through a menu item as well, and add those. Like if we wanted to do our Guitar Central blog, we could select and add to the menu item. So here we have our Guitar Central blog. Let's save that menu, and then we return to the front page and refresh, and we should have Guitar Central blog. We are still, though, at our home page. We're still showing our posts, right? So if we come to Guitar Central Home, we're still showing our two most recent posts as our landing page. And we want to change that. We want to change our Welcome to the Guitar Central article as our landing page. So to do that, we would come back to Themes, so Appearance and Themes, or we'd come directly to customize the theme. And we're using 2014 again, and that's the static front page option. So again, right now we're displaying our latest posts, but we want to select a static page. And which page do we want to select? We want to select our Welcome to Guitar Central. Okay, let's go ahead and click on Save and Publish. And now if we return to the front end, notice we're at our subdomain, our landing page. We can refresh, and we get that Welcome to Guitar Central single article for our the single page, I should call it, for our landing page. And then using the menu item we created, we can access our posts. Let's say we want on our pages, because this is mostly static content here, we don't really want our comments. We can erase comments from our pages. We can now allow those. Let's kind of illustrate how to do that. Let's close our theme that we're using, and let's come down to Settings, and we'll go to Discussion. And what we can do first off is enable threaded comments. We want to just get rid of them all. And anyone posts a comment. No, that's my email option. Default settings allow people to post comments on new articles. So anytime a new article is created, we can eliminate the option to comment, and that's for our pages. Let's save these changes, but we can also come to Pages here, and let's go ahead. First, let's delete our sample page. We don't need it anymore, so let's select it and throw it in the trash. Get rid of that page. And then what we can do is select all, and then under bulk actions, let's select Edit, and Apply. And then under comments here, we can select Do Not Allow. So we're not allowing comments on any of our pages. And let's go ahead right here and click Update. And the change is taking place. One moment. Okay. Now if we return to the front end and refresh the page, our comment area disappears. And a lot of people, they don't want comments on their pages. They only want comments on their posts. Okay? So, the only other thing I want to show you how to do within the image manager or within the posts or pages itself, or how to add an image gallery and how to add a featured image for a page. Let's go back to this welcome to the Guitar Central let's add a gallery on this page. Okay, so in the back end, we'll go ahead and open up this content, and what I'll do is I'll come down to the end of this page, and let's add media again. And when I do that, instead of uploading image files like we did before, let's click on Create Gallery. This is a very simple gallery feature for WordPress. It's really basic. You can use some plugins to help you kind of manage your galleries, but we're going to upload some files. We'll kind of show you what this looks like. A very basic, plain type of gallery. It looks pretty good, but I'm going to select some images here. Let's select a few, and how many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Well, let's open them all. So we can upload all of those images at once. It's kind of helpful. So we're creating our new gallery. And as soon as these are uploaded, notice the check mark, right? It's kind of cool, letting you know which images you've selected. And down at the bottom, it shows you the thumbnails, how many images you have selected for your gallery. And it's kind of obvious now because we only have so many images in our site. But you can imagine if you had like 1,000 images in your site, how helpful this would be, seeing these thumbnails at the bottom. Let's go ahead. I'm going to deselect this one. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 images in here, and let's go ahead and, again, adding this information is helpful if you want to keep those organized. But let's create the new gallery. I really like this because I can create a description. Okay, let's go ahead and call this one Inlay Open Mic Night. Call this one Retro Storytellers Colors and Lines, and then we'll just call this one Volume. And we'll simply click on Insert Gallery. Notice here how you do have the link to, and the link to, by default, it's set to Attachment Page, which if you click on the image, it displays in a new window. It could be None, where it doesn't go anywhere if you click on the image, or Media File. And Media File is really helpful. If you have a plugin that you've added, like a Lightbox plugin to WordPress, it'll kind of open up that image into that one page that you can just X out and be directed back to that page. By default, let's just leave it to the default setting. Notice, too, how you can change the columns for your gallery. But we'll just leave it as 3, random order, useful. But let's go ahead and insert the gallery. You can see the gallery inserted there. You hover your mouse, you get that caption that we created. Let's preview changes first. So you see how the gallery looks on the front end. Kind of nice, kind of fun. So I'm going to close that. Let's go ahead and update. So we saved that page, and let's go ahead and refresh. And so here's our gallery on the front end with our nice description. If you click on an image, remember, it's opened up as an attachment page on a new page. But again, you could find a plugin that helps you open up into a new or open up into a Lightbox if you'd like. So yeah, what's next? I wanted to show you the header image, and then we're going to move on to discuss widgets, and then we'll discuss plugins, and that'll be it for getting started with WordPress. Let's create a new page for our guitar lessons, we'll call it. and we'll create a header image. So we're already in our pages, so we can just click on Add New. We've saved our changes on that page. Let's call this Guitar Lessons, and I'm going to paste this plain text again. Okay, paste in, then deselect that. Head back, we'll create a header. And let's scroll down. Let's go to featured image here now. So this is always really really cool. We'll get to parent. We'll do a parent drop down in just a moment, but the featured image is a nice feature. I've already created a header actually, so let's go to upload images. I'm going to select a file and scroll down here. WordPress, I called it banner, but it's really a featured. It's a featured image, so let's select it and set featured image. You get your preview down here, and I can select preview here, of course. So you see the sort of inlay of the image, which is a featured image for the page. And depending, of course, on what type of theme you're using, your featured image, it's going to move. So if you have that 2012 theme, for instance, I believe your featured image appears over off to it's either the right or left side. So for instance, let's kind of just illustrate that. Let's go back to Appearance and Themes. Oops, I want to stay. Let's publish this change. We'll get rid of that preview. So if we come back here, let's refresh. We created the new page. Oops, you know what? We still need to add that to our menu. And this is important too because even though we created the page, we didn't add it to our menu. So let's go back down to Appearance and Menus. And here is our main menu. We want to add Guitar Lessons. So select and add that to the menu. Okay. Now we save our menu. We can return now and refresh. And so here's Guitar Lessons. We get our featured image along with there. But now let's go back and return to Themes. And let's select 2012 as our theme. We can just do a live preview. We don't need to actually change it. So notice our gallery appears differently. Click on Guitar Lessons. Our header appears a little bit differently. It's really much more of a standard template. I like the 2014 a little bit more. Okay, so yeah, we've I think discussed everything I wanted to with imagery with your WordPress site. Next, we want to move on to widgets. And remember, widgets, they add functionality to your site, and there are several widgets that you have to choose from. Our widgets every template, every theme has a different widget ready area, and our theme supports widgets off to the left side, right? But as you saw, let's go ahead and activate this or preview this 2013 theme. If we preview this one, our widget ready area is down off to the bottom of this theme. We want to cancel though. We're sticking with 2014. Just kind of want to demonstrate, if you come to Appearance and Widgets, these are all of the available widgets you have for this theme. Okay, you can have archives and calendars and categories, meta options, pages, recent posts. These are the themes that are already displayed, the widgets that are already displayed in our theme and our sidebar. So it looks like we might actually have a footer widget ready area in this theme too, so we should explore that a little bit. But notice here how we have our widget search, posts, comments, archives, and then if we go to the front end, we have search, posts, comments, archives. We can get rid of those. And if you wanted to remove all of those, you would simply just drag and drop these to scrolling down to the inactive widgets area down here. Okay, so if you don't want any of these appearing, you'd remove all of them here. Let's just remove every single one of them and return to the front end, refresh the page, and all of your widgets disappear. Okay. If you want to add widgets, again, you can either add from the widgets you removed. You can also delete those permanently if you like to. If you don't want them in your site, use the drop down and just delete, right? Or customize a little bit if you wanted to. Let's see, I want search, and I would like to have my calendar. I'm going to add a new one. There we go. Calendar. Let's go ahead and title this May 2014 and save. And if we'd like to have, let's add our recent posts in. Again, here we go. And one of the coolest parts is that drag and drop feature. So if you'd like your recent posts above your calendar, you just drag and drop it there. Let's return and refresh. And so we get our search feature back in there, recent posts, and our calendar. All right. Let's go back to our home page. Notice how those widgets, they stay on all pages. All right. Returning to the back end, let's try the footer widget area. Let's just see. Let's add categories back into the footer widget area. It looks like I have, let's refresh. I do have a footer widget ready area here, which is kind of cool. I kind of like that. Let's see. Content sidebar, primary sidebar. I don't know about the content sidebar. Let's just check it out. Since we're here, might as well. Let's just add in category search posts. Like RSS, I don't think so. Custom menu, no. Arbitrary text or HTML. This could be cool. Let's try this one. I'm just going to experiment. I haven't played around with this one much yet. Let's add our text box here. Okay, cool. Let's test. Let's just test this out. Title. Save. Close. Okay. And now let's just see where that goes. Cool. Off to the right side, like an inner menu or an inner widget ready area. I kind of like that. I'm going to play around and learn a little bit more about that in the future. Okay, so that's the basics of widgets. Now, you're really limited in your functionality, though. You can't do a whole lot here. There's a lot of cool core options, but if you ever want to browse the vast world of third-party possibilities or the extendability of WordPress, you'd go to plugins here. Okay, so I'm going to click on the plugins tab, and plugins, again, this is really where you start to extend WordPress. And this Akismet plugin, this is really a cool one. This is a way to protect your comments from spammers, and you actually have to go to this link here to sign up for an API key to enable this. So if you activate it, you actually need to register and create a key, and it's free to do. It's a really cool feature. Not something we're going to do during this webinar, but a really cool feature. Another one that's kind of cool that demonstrates the ability of plugins is the Hello Dolly plugin. And this is really kind of just for fun. This was developed by Matt Mullenweg, who is actually the creator of WordPress. And I had the privilege of meeting Matt last November in Boston. But he created this plugin just to demonstrate how you can use plugins. It just proves how plugins are used for WordPress. And I'm going to enable this, and what's going to happen is we're going to get a new lyric to the Hello Dolly song appearing in our WordPress site. Click on Activate, and notice here how I can tell Dolly, okay? And it really serves no purpose, just to prove that a plugin is available and possible. I'm going to refresh the back end, and every time I refresh, I get a new lyric. Golly gee, fellas. Refresh. We feel the room swaying. Okay, so this is just to kind of illustrate how plugins work and that you can install them. Okay, now I'm going to deactivate this one. I don't really need it there. But, you know, one of the popular things that you can do with a website is a contact form, but there's no core WordPress feature for a contact form. So the last thing we're going to do in WordPress today anyway is to illustrate how you can reach outside and install a plugin. Once you're in your plugins area, you can click on the Add New button. And this is going to take you to a window where you can search installed or search for plugins. Okay, you can search through these popular tags, and I don't see contact in here actually. So let's type search. Let's type contact in here. We want a contact form. We can search plugins, and there are so many available, right? There are just tons of them available, and the ratings are really helpful, but I don't know which one really suits my needs. And so you have to do some exploring to figure out which type of plugin really has the functionality for you, and whether it's a paid plugin or it's a non-commercial plugin, you really have to find out. I happen to know of a great contact form that I can use for my site. It's really usable, it's free, and it's a plugin. I'm just going to go ahead and search for it. It's called Grunion Contact Form. So I'm going to search for it. It's right here. It is free. It's got 4 reviews, or I'm sorry, it's got 4 stars, which is really good. It's a very popular contact form. I'm going to go ahead and click on install now. I could search, look at the details for the contact form. If I click on that, it kind of illustrates, it gives us a description, and I guess there's a change log and frequently asked questions. It's really useful. I'm going to go ahead and just click on install now, though, and click OK. We're going to install that plugin. And we get our notification here that it's unpacking the package, installing the plugin, so successfully installed. Let's go ahead and activate it. Once I activate that, I actually get an additional item in my content management toolbar here, and that's feedbacks. Okay, so what I can do is create a new form. Let's go to Pages and Add New. We're going to add a new page. It's called Contact Us. And then I'll create just a little text here. Use the form below to send us an email. Remember, you never really want to have your email address listed on a page or a post somewhere to prevent those spammers, people attacking your email. So you want to use a contact form. You may have also noticed this little change here too. Next to Add Media, we have this little button here to add a custom form. And this helps us create our contact form. So here's your form builder, right? And so by default, it gives you the 4 fields. Let's say I don't really want my website field here, but I can edit this. Let's change this from website to guitar playing ability, and then I can select my, let's do radio, I think. Yeah, first option, beginner, intermediate, and advanced, or I shred. Let's save the field so we get our name, email, our playing ability, and comment. Now also email notifications. This is even more important. What email address should the contact form be pointed to, and what should the subject line be? Let's go ahead. I'll just type in my email address, and hi Bernie, I want to shred. And go back to the builder. And let's go ahead and add this form to the post. Now, this is the, what do they call this? Quick code? Something like that? Block code or quick code. We really don't want to jump in here and edit this, but this is basically what the form will look like in the back end. And once we save the page, we can preview. WordPress kind of reads this and creates the form for us on the front end. So let's preview. And we can see what the contact form looks like. By default, because I'm logged into the WordPress site, it's going to autofill my name, my username, and my email address in here. But that won't really appear, of course, for your users. Let's close our preview. Let's publish our page. Our last step is to add that to our our menu. So we'll go to Appearance and Menus, and then we'll add our contact form in, Contact Us, and Add to Menu. And let's return or save our menu first. Return and refresh. And Contact Us right here. And so there's our contact form. Really quite useful. And that's going to be it for today's webinar. We did quite a bit of information. I did want to do one additional thing. I wanted to create a sub page, just a drop down. Let's just create one more page and then we'll call it a day. Under Guitar Lessons, let's create a page called Meet Our Instructors. Just show you how to do a drop down menu item here really quickly. So Pages, Add New. I'm going to title this one my Meet Our Instructors. Paste as plain text. Heading. And over off here, page attributes. This is where I really want to make this a drop down. So I'll select Guitar Lessons here and then Publish. And now if I return to the front end, that's published, but I don't think it's on my menu, so I don't know if it'll appear. It won't. I need to go back to my menus to make sure I add that. Let's go back to Appearance, Menus, and we will Meet Our Instructors. Notice how it's indented here, meaning it's a nested or child page. And we'll add the menu. And save. Let's return and refresh. And it's Meet Our Instructors, but we want that to be a drop-down again. So maybe that's something I do in my menu. Yeah, I just drag and drop it so it's indented under Guitar Lessons here. Return and refresh. Oh, I didn't save. I have a bad habit of that. Save my menu. Return and refresh. Now, it disappears as the root item, but it's a drop-down under our main menu. So, I want to feel free. I want to encourage you guys to post questions. If you have a question, find that GoToMeeting slide out question area. I'm going to play around with this test window here. I'd really like to have a video appear in that test widget. I'll wait just a sec to see if you guys have any questions. But let's go to our widgets. And that was, remember, content sidebar. That was our test. And how do I add? I really want to figure out how to add a video off to that side. I don't think I'm going to be able to just embed a video in this widget. I'd really like to embed a video. Let me go to YouTube. I'm just going to search for a video here. Oh, guitar lesson. And there's this cool guy. This is the guy. I always like to learn from this guy. Let's go to share. Let's go to embed. I don't think this is going to work at all. Typically, we could probably embed a video into an article. But I just want to see. If I paste that iframe in there, is it going to let me save? Let's return just to see. Fingers crossed. It worked. So cool. By default, I get my video. Now, it is really, really kind of cool. Let's go back and get our video off to the side. We host, of course, both Joomla and WordPress, and both CMSs, they have their benefits, but there's some cool things that you can do in WordPress that are a little bit more difficult in Joomla, and vice versa too, right? Let's see. Learn to play. Save. So you learn something new every day. That's kind of cool. Let's return and refresh. Get rid of that title. Very cool. Now we're coming along. Our site looks a lot better than it did about an hour and 20 minutes ago. hour and 15 minutes ago. Yeah, so Richard did post a question. Hi, Richard. Does JCE have an editor for WordPress? No, JCE, remember, that's a Joomla content editor. They are exclusively Joomla. You could search for different editors. Of course, you'd go down to plugins and browse around. I really haven't had a chance to search for new editors. I find that the default editor is pretty darn good for what I want to accomplish. Let's search for editor. There's going to be a number of options here to search from, and so this first one here, the WP editor, looks like this is, oh no, it replaces the default plugin. So again, I have no suggestions here, Richard, on what you might be able to use, but it's a good question. Good question. Yeah, so we're coming along, looking pretty good. Nice webinar site. Let's just remind you a couple things. I'm going to go back to CloudAccess.net. I want to invite you all to attend some of our upcoming free webinars. Come to training, come to live webinars. We have a number of upcoming events. We hosted this Learn the Basics of Joomla 2.5 earlier today, and then this is today's WordPress webinar. Tomorrow we have a Beyond the Basics of Joomla 2.5. Feel free to register and attend this one as well. And that might be it for a while for us for 2.5. On Friday of this week, we have an interactive open forum webinar for Joomla. I really should change these to be interactive open forum for Joomla or WordPress. So we talk about the differences between them. And then the following week, not next week, but the following week, we have 2 introductory webinars for Joomla 3. And these are going to be on Joomla 3.3, the most recent version of Joomla. Feel free to come back and attend. We do have another upcoming webinar to illustrate and show off more features of our Cloud Control Panel. Since we're here, let me just show you very quickly how to create an app snapshot. Now, we just renamed this feature from Managing Backups to App Snapshot. Open up your App Snapshot and you create a backup of your entire WordPress application. Okay, I'm going to click on the Create Snapshot button. I'll create a full files and database backup. So I'm backing up my entire WordPress site. And as you create the backup, you'll see this process window. The larger the site, the longer it takes for the backup to be created. This is going to happen very quickly for us because it's a small site. We get our success message. And what we can do with this backup now is download the files and database backup. We can delete it here once we download. Of course, download those first, or you can restore. And what a lot of our users will do is they'll come in before they make a lot of changes for their site, or they're going to do something drastic, and you know, they create a backup first so they can easily restore if they wanted to. Now, just to illustrate some of those other CCP features, we can replicate the site to a production area with one click. And what that means is I want to do just a ton of changes. I don't want to have to worry about backups and things. I can replicate the site into a staging area for a temporary period of time and make my changes, and then I can move that back to the production area very quickly. Of course, a lot of other information here. We kind of gave an overview of it earlier. So, yeah. Showed off our upcoming webinars, and you know, this is a free webinar, so if you didn't notice, you didn't spend any money to attend this one, go ahead and share this on Facebook or tweet about us. We'd love it if you shared our webinars. This is a free offer for the WordPress and Joomla communities. We'd love to have you attend. And let's see. Again, I just want to show off our YouTube channel, youtube.com/CloudAccess. I'm logged in as the user here, but if I go to youtube.com/CloudAccess, this is our YouTube channel. We have over 9,000 subscribers, 300,000 video views, and we upload new stuff all the time. So if you do subscribe, you'll get a new notification. You get a notification every time a new tutorial becomes available. If you go over here off to our playlists, under WordPress webinars, we only have one so far, but I'm going to upload this webinar we did today so you can come back and review it, and I'm actually going to get rid of this old one. It's not very good, not as good as today's. So again, thank you everyone for attending. Good luck developing your WordPress website, and I hope to see you in a webinar really soon. Take care.